Okay, welcome back. We are looking at modeling equations, and this is going to be a two-part video. Okay, so if we're looking at this, my circles, my two circles here, each one is worth or weighs 1 kilogram. So their mass is 1 kilogram each. If I'm looking at my triangle here, I don't know how much it weighs, but I do know I want to know the total of what they weigh together. So if I was going to write this as an equation, I had 2 from my circles and my unknown variable. Okay, so if I was going to then write an expression for what I have here, I now have more. Okay, so there's 6 here, and then I have 3 unknown variables. So I would have 3x. 3 times x to find out how much that is. Okay, now I can write the expression this way, or I can also write it 3x plus 6. It doesn't matter which number comes first. Okay, so what I would like you to do is using this format, okay, with the x's being the triangles and the circles representing how much we're adding, I would like you to draw triangles and circles for these expressions. So for an example, here is for the x, my one triangle, and then I have 3 circles. And then I'd like you to do up to here for me, and then stop and come back. So make sure you pause and do this and then come back. All right, welcome back. Okay, so just double check and make sure yours looks like mine. 5, and I have 1, 2, 3. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and I have, there we go. Okay, so now when we're moving on to these, we're going to use what's called the distributive property. Okay, what that means is if I was going to figure out what this is and be able to draw it out, first I have to put the 2 inside the bracket. So if I was going to, if I knew that this was a 2, right, this is always going to be 3. So I would need to make sure I multiply by both of those. So I need to do that as well. So I would multiply this in, so that would be 2x, and then this is going to be plus 2. And so this would be 1, 2, and so I'm going to get you to do H and I, pause, and then just come back. So draw those out. Right, because this would be 3x plus 3. And then here I have 4x plus 1, 2, 3, 4, because that would be 4x plus 1. Okay, which 2 are the same? And I'm wanting to know why this happens. So have a look at which ones are the same. So I'm hoping that you noticed E and I are the same, okay, when we look at the drawings here. And the reason this is the same is because in both cases there are 4 of each shape, because when we use the distributive property and move inside, it ends up with the same equation. Oh, I didn't put the 4 there. Okay, so I was going to draw it out there. All right, so I would like for you here to use the distributive property and then draw it out again, okay? You can draw it out for half of them and not for the other half. All right, so make sure you're pausing the video and come back. All right, so this would be 2x plus 6, and that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, this would be 4x plus 12, right? And 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And this is 2x plus 10. Okay, and I'm only just going to do half of these to make the video a little shorter for you guys. Okay. Now remembering, if you're not understanding this or yours don't look like mine, then you need to come to the help sessions. Okay, so again, use the distributive property to work this out. You do not have to draw these out, but what I would like you to do, use the distributive property, and then what I would like you to do is solve this equation and the one that you've made into the distributive property by substituting 5 in for x, and see if you come up with the same answer for each. Okay, so pause the video again and then come back. Okay, so this is going to stay the same. And then this one is going to be 2x plus 22. Okay, and now I'm going to sub in 5 for x. So I have 2, there's 5 plus 11. Okay, and this is going to be, okay, it's inside the bracket. So if I'm following order of operations, okay, so this is going to be 55, or sorry, not 55, blah, I'm multiplying. This is going to be 16, and then 16 times 2 is going to be equal to 32. Okay, and now I'm going to sub 2 times 5 is going to be 10, and that's plus 22, and that's going to be 32. So they come up with the same answer. So that's a good way to check yourself as well. All right, over here, I have 2x plus 7, and then over here I'm going to have 2x plus 14. And now I'm going to sub in my 5. Okay, so this is going to be 12 times 2, which is going to be 24. And then here I have 10 plus 14, and that is going to be 24. All right, so what I would like you to do here is, remember when we played the game, when we thought of a number, which would be substituting in for x, right? So we would think of a number, and then we had our partner tell us what we're multiplying it by, and then what we are adding to it, and then we had to work backwards. So that's what we're going to do here, is we are going to work backwards. Okay, so when we're working backwards, we go opposite to the order of operations. So whatever we did first, we do last, and whatever we do last, we do first. So what we would do last here is obviously the addition. So I'm going to subtract 4 here, and I'm going to subtract 4 there. And this is going to be 15. So there is x. And so now what I'm doing to x is I'm multiplying. So now if I'm going to undo that, I am going to divide by 3, and over here I'm going to divide by 3. So this is equal to 1, and 1 times x is x. Okay, so I have x, 15 divided by 3 is going to be 5. Now, when I finish an algebraic question, I always go back and I plug it in, and I make sure that I have done all of my work correctly. So I plug that in, and now I have 15 plus 4 equals 19, and it does. So it worked out. All right. All right, again, so I'm going to get you to pause, work this out, okay? Make sure you use the distributive property first, and then undo the problem, and then come back. Okay, so using the distributive property, I would have 5x plus 10, and that is going to be equal to 20. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract 10 from both sides. So this is going to be 20, and I have 5x, and then I'm going to divide by 5 and divide by 5, and x is going to be equal to 4. Ah, no, this is 10. X is going to be equal to 2. Okay, now I'm going to take this and I'm going to plug it in here. So I have 5 plus 2, there we go. And that's going to be equal to 20. So I have 5 multiplied by 4, and then I know that equals 20. So I've double checked my answer, made sure that I did it properly. All right, so now what you're gonna do is before you go on to the next video, you are going to pause and you are going to make sure that you're doing up to question 5. And if you're not understanding something, please make sure you are coming in for help.